Joining us this morning on The Blend, we have Tina Wells with us. Tina is a business strategist and advisor, and of course, author of the popular The Z Files. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning, Bob. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to join you today.
Well, thank you. We know that The Z Files is a spinoff of the popular Mackenzie Blue series. So I'm wondering if you can tell us what young readers can expect from the first book of the series.
Yeah, so in the Mackenzie Blue series, Z was a Southern California girl, and in the Z Files, we've moved her entire family to London, and Z is now going to boarding school out in the Cotswolds. So it's a totally new cast of characters, definitely some old favorites, but Z is really in for the adventure of her life.
I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit about some of the biggest misconceptions we may have about Gen Z, and then also how do you tackle these in your series?
Yeah, so the biggest thing, I think we're all thinking about millennials. And so Gen Z and millennials are completely different. Where I think people thought millennials were this entitled generation. I often think of millennials as a generation that were just handed some really difficult circumstances. Gen Z has had time to learn from those financial mistakes. They've had time to really grow into their creative abilities, to realize that they can really make money from creative endeavors. And so I would say we definitely know they're the most diverse generation ever. They're going to be the most educated generation ever. And they're also the most financially literate generation ever.
What are some popular Gen Z trends that maybe we should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, I think going back to creativity, I think when we thought about millennials being creative, it was more about self-expression. I think when you think of Gen Z being creative, it really is about monetization, right? They're creative with the understanding that I can make money from this. And so I think how they make money is going to be different. I think another thing I find fascinating about Gen Z is this idea that the government should be doing certain things for people. So, you're going to see a resurgence of Gen Z going into like the legal field, into healthcare, into these fields and saying, I want to innovate and I want to make this better, or I think there's a better way to do this. And so there's not going to be an abandonment of kind of traditions that I think we saw with millennials. And what I mean by that is taxis aren't working, so we need to make Uber. Hotels aren't working for us, so we need to go create Airbnb. And with Gen Z, I think you're going to see, I have an idea to make hotels even better. And so I'm super excited to see how they're going to take on kind of the existing infrastructure and make it better.
Well, Tina, thank you so much for your insight. We look forward to reading your books.